Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me yet again today. One thing I want to talk to you about today is something that doesn't get brought up too much in seminary. I think in my entire time studying, with all the conversations I've had with different profs, I've only ever heard one, kind of in a passing statement, talk about this, and that's the importance of balance. Yeah, you need balance in ministry. In a previous video, I talked about longevity, sustainability, right? I compared the sparkler to the candle. If you haven't checked that video out, please check it out here or wherever I put that link. But balance is super important. You know, we work really, really hard because we are very concerned about the ministry, right? If you're a good pastor, you care. And because you care, you invest yourself so much into the lives of your people, into making things move forward, into doing whatever you can to make the necessary adjustments for the ministry to be more effective, or at least more logistically sound. And that's all good. It is good for you to do that. But you don't do anyone any service if you work yourself dry, if you work yourself to the point where you have nothing left to give. If you're married, I'll talk about that in another video, the importance of prioritizing your marriage. You know, your spouse is your first calling, your first ministry, not your secondary. The church comes after, but we'll talk about that in another video. But balance is important. You know, one of the first things that my first senior pastor said to me, which was very encouraging, and I needed to hear that. I think he said it to me because he saw that I was, doing my best. I was very keen, right? I was a yes guy, like, I'll do it. And one of the best things he told me was, hey, listen, there's always going to be more work to do. There's no shortage of ministry needs. So you don't have to get it all done today. And I really appreciate that, because we don't often slow ourselves down, especially if you're a type A person and you really are passionate about the ministry. We don't often think about ourselves, really. We kind of give, but in the process we can lose a bit of our sanity. You can lose your emotional health. You can start to deal with things like anxiety and depression. You can lose your physical health, your sleep deprivation, and all these things actually affect you, in a big way. It affects your productivity in a big way. It affects your spirituality, your walk with the Lord, because, if you're giving everything to the church and not taking any time for you, you might actually start to resent the church. You might get to the place where that divide between place of worship, community of worship, and place of employment is a hard one to navigate already, and you just get to a place where you start to resent God's people. You feel they just take, because at the end of the day, the reality is you're a bit guilty in that, because you haven't set healthy boundaries. You haven't invested in balance. And so my encouragement to you, my counsel to you, especially those of you that are just getting started, learn to say no. I know that almost hurts Christians to say, because we think, it's selfish to say no, and we feel guilty, right? Like, oh, they're asking me to do so much, and the church has so many needs. And yes, that's great, but the church is not going to make or break itself on your back. The Lord built his church, and he built it long before you were even alive, and the church will prevail and persevere long after you're gone. We're simply partners with what the Lord is already doing. Take the pressure off yourself. Okay, serve with integrity, serve with devotion, yes, but balance. And so you need to learn to say no. There's going to be some times where things are asked of you, and really you have to learn to say no for your own health, your own well-being, and for your sustainability. And if you start saying yes to everything, that's going to be expected of you for various reasons, not always evil. Maybe people think, that you can handle so much, and so they continue to give you more, and maybe you should be working here. Maybe this is a better place for you. And so learning to say no is crucial. Right out the gate, it's going to be hard, but you have to learn to do it with grace, right? There's a right way to say things. Also, investing in things that bring you joy and bring you peace. For me, I love nature walks, just by myself, going like through a forest, for instance, just breathing fresh air, or getting the sun, feeling a cold breeze. To me, and I'll talk about this more in an emotional health video, but the importance of deep breathing and slowing down my day, and just, that, or, again, I already mentioned that I'll talk about it in a marriage and ministry episode, but spending time with your spouse, doing things that bring you joy, putting down the ministry for a season, for a little bit, definitely taking your Sabbath. Again, another video will talk about the importance of Sabbath, but balance is very important. If you're going to serve with all that you have, then you have to be serving from a place of joy. And in order for you to continue to work for joy, work for your own joy as well, one of the things you have to do is exercise wisdom. And so balance is a crucial component of ministry. Learn to put it down for a little bit. That's okay. Don't feel guilty. That's all right. And take your day off once a week at least, or take an hour every day and just do things for you. And also, don't work yourself to exhaustion. It is so much harder to regain energy wasted than it is to persevere and sustain a good level of energy. So don't exhaust yourself to get something done. And do what you can, but also learn to put things down, and do what makes you happy. Do things that bring you joy. Do things that are going to feed and pour into yourself, because if you're pouring into others and you're not filling yourself up, soon enough you're going to run out of which to pour from, and that's going to hurt you and your church. So, I know that you love to help people. That's great. Every real pastor does. But balance is crucial. So learn to take a time out. Learn to take a day off. Learn to take a weekend retreat away. Learn to take an hour out of every day to do something that brings you peace, something that slows you down. Learn to limit the amount of things that you can do. So if you can only handle 3, handle those 3 very well. It is better to do 3 things very well and effectively than to do 10 things half done. Right? So learn to balance what you can do and can't do. I'm going to talk about strategies of bringing in supports and support systems on another video, but I just wanted to give you the general concept, just a basic concept on the need for balance, and to let you know it is okay to say no. It is okay to express your limitations. We are all limited. We are all weak vessels used for the glory of God. So it is okay, especially if you're just starting. I know there's that temptation. It's your job, you just got it, you're new to the career. What if you start saying no right off the gate? Balance is very important. So please, if you're wanting to have a fruitful and joyful ministry, learn to find balance in your life. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I hope that this has encouraged you. And if you know anyone that can maybe hear this and someone that will benefit from this, please share it. Share it with your loved ones, those in ministry, those maybe just in lay ministry, serving, volunteer. Just share this with those who need to hear it. And I'll see you guys next time.